everybody, and welcome to another edition of C4, CRI's toothless satirical show. Let's meet the teams. On my left we have Dominic.
Greetings, Rob.
Hello, Dominic Swire. How are you?
Wonderful. Happy to be here.
It is so great to have you back. What have you been doing recently?
I've been very busy, Rob.
Doing what?
Making video reports for CRI.
Oh, well done. Who watches them?
Lots of people.
That's right, nobody. And we've also got Xiaohua beside me. Hello.
Hi, Rob.
And you work at ECFM, don't you?
That's right.
And what's your show called?
It's called China Drive.
Oh, China Drive. I like that one a lot, although I've never heard it. Let's move to the right. There we have... Hello, Sir Chi.
Hi everyone, I'm Chi.
You work for that 3-hour show called Bag of Wind, don't you?
Yeah, China Now is a lovely show.
3 hours of wind. That's right. Okay, well done for being here. And finally, we have Spoon. Hello.
Hello.
How is life in Tropoya recently?
It's great.
Okay. And you've been having meetings with Quato? It's been absolutely marvellous. Anyway, first story, please. What is the relevance of this image? Oh, Dominic has buzzed in. Dominic, what is Hungary?
It's a country in Central Europe, Rob.
Sorry.
That was excellent.
Okay.
The world is hungry.
Okay.
Or certain parts of the world.
Okay. Now this is something related to World Food Day, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. Would you like to go into more detail?
Well, specifically related to people fasting in China to raise awareness for World Food Day.
Okay. Now I know that Spoon has some details for us, specific statistics. So would you like to go into detail, Spoon?
Do you know how much food gets wasted in China every year?
A kilo.
No.
How much? I'm not guessing.
A kilo was your guess. 85 million tons.
85 million tons. How many people could that feed?
That could feed 200 million people.
It could feed the world.
Do you know what that is as a percentage of the Chinese population?
15%.
You're right.
It's almost like I'm Asian.
That's roughly the population of America, no?
Okay, well,
probably.
it could probably feed 10 million Americans. But Dominic, what did you do for World Food Day?
I went to the CRI canteen to have lunch.
Okay,
It's very busy.
How was the slop?
Delicious, Rob. Fantastic greasy vegetables.
I'm sure it was. You know, when you go to the CRI canteen, you can't tell what the food is because it's liquefied. Yes.
Did you know that it was World Food Day?
I did. It was October the 16th.
Well, how did you know that then?
Because I was in McDonald's and someone told me after I'd finished.
Was that person from the State Administration of Grain?
Yes, from SAG, and he was a right fatty. Would you like to tell me something? About World Food Day?
Well, I do know that there's a lot of food waste in China, and people would think that much of it comes from the waste in restaurants and people and college canteens, but a lot of it also comes from the food in the transportation and in the storage process. A lot of it is wasted. Actually, I remember a figure which tells about 15% of the grain is wasted during transport and process.
You said you'd done no research.
Is that what you were about to butt in and
No,
say?
it was not.
That's all you wanted to say?
It was not. I was just going to say, did you guys fast, or did you know anybody else that was fasting? Because I didn't know about this.
God, it's like a non-Muslim version of Ramadan. What about you, Stuart? Did you fast?
No, I didn't know it was going on. The State Administration of Grain did not do their job.
Damn
properly.
you, SAG! Damn you for your uselessness. What about you, Sir Chi?
Actually, after hearing what Xiaohua said, I feel so sorry because actually I didn't realize the day.
How depressing indeed. Well, if you really want to fast, then just go to the CRI canteen and you won't feel hungry anymore.
You might criticise the Grain Administration
SAG!
for this world fasting, but it has achieved its, they wanted to raise awareness, and look, we're discussing it on C4.
After World Hunger Day.
After it's finished and no one's going to fast. Do a better job next year, SAG, a better job. Dominic, you are a vegetarian, as we well know.
I'm vegetarian, Rob.
You are indeed, which means that you don't eat meat.
I don't eat meat, Rob.
Do you eat fish?
I do eat fish.
They're pretty meaty. But I'd like to ask you, if there were no vegetables in the world, if there were only cows, would you turn and eat a cow?
If there was no option to eat anything except for a cow?
You either had cow or you die.
In that case, I would probably eat cow.
Do you think
What
you could
would
get
that
nutrients
cow
by
eat?
licking it?
What would that cow eat to survive?
It's the circle of life, isn't it? Like someone gets a bit old and the cow eats a person, then Dominic eats the cow and it just goes
No,
around like
that's
that.
a very good
I
question.
mean, Dominic can eat whatever the cow eats because he eats on vegetables.
Basically,
Dominic
there's
can
a
eat children.
there's a fundamental flaw in your example.
Yeah,
Yes.
what's that?
How could the cow exist if there were no vegetables?
Yeah, because Dominic, this is a really serious show.
I was going to say there's no scientific basis to his question. He's
Just lick a cow and
he's
shut
just
up.
filling
Okay.
time.
What about you, Stuart Wiggin? You like meat, don't you?
Yeah, I eat meat.
As we well know. What about you, Sir Chi?
I don't like meat. You know that.
Oh yes, you're a vegetarian as well, aren't you?
Yes.
What about you?
I'm a meat lover.
Okay, there we go. So we have a vegetarian and a meat lover, and the same on this side as well. Isn't life truly strange? And with
Yeah.
that, let's move on to the next story, please.
幸福，这个幸福这个太麻烦，这个说不清楚。
Okay, what's the relevance of this guy with the sniper rifle? Yes, Sir Chi, you've buzzed in. There's still more video to be played. What are these people answering? Questions.
Are you happy?
Okay, that's right. That's right. Are you happy? Stuart Wiggin is about to explode with information.
That's true. So this
passionate,
CCTV, sorry,
go on.
CCTV produced a documentary or a little mini series when they went around China and asked people, "Are you happy?" And apparently, yes, everyone's happy.
Okay, well that's good, isn't it?
But it got ridiculed online on Sino Weibo because people thought, well, they thought the concept of the question was stupid because it's a subjective topic.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of the people didn't know what the heck was going on.
Well, also, if you're asked by CCTV, you're not going to say you're sad.
I mean, you wouldn't want to say you're unhappy on national television, would you?
Sir Chi, there was something incredibly funny
Yes.
about some wordplay. I'm laughing already. What is it?
There are many funny answers.
Many? Or just one, please.
Yes. Okay, just one. A reporter asked a migrant worker, "Are you happy?" The migrant worker just answered, "My surname is Zhen." Because in Chinese, happiness shares the same pronunciation with surnamed Fu. So he just answered, "My surname is Zhen," because he mistook the question as, "What's your surname? Like, are you surnamed Fu?"
Okay, we'll edit that out. Okay.
No, that's interesting
I
because
think it's quite funny.
he wasn't expecting anyone to ask him, "Are you happy?" Another person said, "I'm just a migrant worker. It doesn't matter."
That was a very sad answer, which I saw. The fact that he was a migrant worker and he thought no one cares about me. And that's probably pretty true in China. Feels uncared for.
Two studies in China, one by a committee at the NPC, National People's Congress, and another by China Social Sciences Academy.
Yeah, something.
Something like that. Determined that the majority of Chinese people are relatively happy.
What did the American survey find, though?
An American survey by someone called Richard Easterlin from Minnesota, I think, found that the majority of people are unsatisfied with conditions now compared to 10 years ago.
Okay.
I just want to question the accuracy of this report, because if somebody asks if you're happy, well, your level of happiness goes up and down throughout the day or throughout the week. I think they would have got very different results if they asked people like on a Monday morning compared with a Friday afternoon.
Dominic is absolutely right, because when I get to work, my level of happiness plummets, and when I leave, it goes right back up again. It shoots up. Dominic, could I ask you, subjectively, obviously, are you happy?
On a scale of 1 to 10, Rob, definitely above 5.
Above 5, so you're more happy than sad. Sir Chi, you have a very happy face most of the time, except when you're on
Thank you.
C4. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Really?
You mean just after you insulted her?
I didn't insult her.
Apart from that.
On her show, it's 3 hours long. You can fill it up with half an hour waffle. It doesn't matter. They need to fill it up.
Rob, you're a sullen character. Are you happy?
Look at my face. I'm full of joy. I've never been happier. Oh my God, I want to kill myself.
Actually, I think the reporters should ask this question in details instead of "Are you happy?" Maybe you can ask something in details.
Well, like, are you
instead of
happy
this.
with your job? Are you happy with your wife? Are you happy with your bicycle, your children, your government? Those
Because
kind of things.
this topic is too big, like it's too philosophical.
See?
So if a stranger just walks into you and asks you, "Are you happy?" it would be very strange.
So you wouldn't know how to answer if someone
I
asked you
don't
such a
know.
broad question.
Yeah. It's
Well,
too
with that in
difficult.
mind, I'm going to ask Xiaohua, are you happy?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think the immediate response when you're faced with the question is to say you're happy unless you are going to commit suicide or something on your way of doing that. Otherwise, if people ask you this, are you happy? I'm saying, yeah, why not?
That would be strange
you know?
if you were on your way to commit suicide and someone went,
It would be
"Are you happy?"
It'd be deeply ironic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, what about? I've got a question for you because you come from Luan, my
Yes.
favourite city in China, and I'd like to know: do you think people have different opinions of what constitutes happiness in Luan compared to big cities like Beijing? This is a deep and probing question.
I know, I think the definition is different because people focus on different things, and what makes them happy is very different.
So in Luan, what would make people happy?
I think people maybe just focus more on their lives instead of jobs or career. But in big cities, people focus more on their career instead of personal life.
I don't focus on my career. I work here. It's going nowhere.
Because you have worked in Luan for many years. That's the reason.
Okay, so I'm more focused on my life.
In my opinion, people in Beijing, what makes them more happy than anything in the world is
Money?
a seat on Line 1 subway.
Okay.
Pretty true.
Anyway, with that in mind, let's move on to the next story, please. What's the relevance of the guy pushing the wheelchair? Yes, Stuart Wiggin.
This guy's pushing a wheelchair, and in the wheelchair is his mother.
Okay, that's beautiful. Xiaohua, you weren't at rehearsals because you had something more important to do. So let's hear from you. What's this story about?
This is about a story of a 26-year-old son pushing his mother
Oh,
through
very good.
the wheelchair all the way to, I think, somewhere in Yunnan, because it used to be her dream to go to Yunnan, and she somehow was confined to wheelchairs since childhood.
Is it downhill?
Up and down the hill?
Okay. If it was downhill, you could just shove it. Yeah.
I have more
I did this
details
for
to
him.
add.
Oh, that's very nice. of you.
His dream was to go to, I think, Inner Mongolia.
Yeah.
And he'd broken up with his girlfriend, and he was having trouble with his job, and there's a violin playing in the background, and his mom said, "I want to come, but I want to go to Yunnan." So he
changed his plans.
changed his plans, and he pushed her the whole way, apart from 3 specific instances
Oh,
where,
okay,
they, where they used a bus.
Don't forget, his mum's severely disabled, so...
Yes.
But she can walk short distances, which means she could very easily get on the train and go to Yunnan.
But that, I mean, there's no wonder in that journey.
There's
is
no
there?
wonder in being on a train.
Also, she'd still have to take a wheelchair. It'd be quite cumbersome.
It would be
Not as cumbersome as walking across the country, but
Yeah.
from
It's
Beijing.
very Forrest Gump going across the country.
It's quite
by foot.
it's a romantic idea of
There
travel.
you go, romantic. And they didn't get murdered either, or turned into
No, they
bouncer.
didn't meet any dangers. Although, I mean, they had a lot of generosity from people on the way.
They had a little bit of generosity, not too much. Xiaohua, would you ever go across the country in a wheelchair?
No, I wouldn't want to be in a wheelchair, but I would want to do the previous part of your sentence.
Okay. Do you think you and your husband would ever walk across this nation?
Probably not walk, because we're not great crusaders or people who are big on walking.
Well, when you get to the west, you'll need a special visa to go to some provinces, so you can't go all the way. Dominic, what about you? Do you think that you would enjoy walking across China?
Well, I don't know. You can kind of... Walking is quite a nice idea. I like the idea of going in a wheelchair. You can kind of imagine maybe pushing your mum, but can you imagine pushing your nan?
It took them.
I don't know what is that. Was that a
I'm
joke?
not sure about that. It took them 3 months, Dominic. Would you want to do it for 3 months?
Would you
The
run out
idea
of
sounds
things to
nice.
talk about?
The idea sounds nice, but it must have been a bit bumpy, and I don't think the suspension on that wheelchair was pretty
Well,
good.
it made it 3 months on the ragged roads of China.
There's some cyclists there, just like taunting them, like
They're giving Nazi salutes, actually. But I have to say, you can probably, I imagine in the big cities, you can't actually push a wheelchair because people actually park on pavements. Drivers in China are very selfish, so if you've got a pram or a wheelchair, you have to actually wheel into the road and walk down there. It's very dangerous
Hence
due
why
to
they
the
took the
selfishness
they
of
took
people.
the countryside route.
That is very wise indeed, because in the countryside, people aren't selfish.
But they often have bicycle roads, so you can push down there now.
No, but people park on the bicycle roads, Dominic, in China. Anyway, Dominic, if you had the chance to push someone in a wheelchair across China, who would you choose?
Wow, that's a very difficult question. Maybe I would...
This has gone on too long, Dominic. We'll come back to you.
Think about it, yeah.
Stuart, you've had 15 minutes since rehearsals to think about it. Who would you push?
I'd push you.
Thank you very much.
You're
Off the cliff.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
I can help if you need.
yeah, probably would.
Move on.
Anyway, so T, would you ever push someone across the country? And if so, who would you push?
Maybe a little cat, because I'm not so
A
strong.
cat in a wheelchair?
I don't know, because I don't think I can push anyone on a wheelchair.
What I'd like to do is now flash up a picture of c4e pushing a cat in a wheelchair. How absolutely delightful. And finally, Xiaohua, who would you push?
Can I answer no one? Because I don't want anybody that
You're married and you have
like.
a child, and you said no one?
No, I don't want anybody to be reduced to a wheelchair.
No, they're not disabled. They're just sitting there and you're pushing.
Oh,
the
right,
cat is not crippled, okay?
I was overthinking.
You were over. This is C4. No thought goes into it.
If you want, it can be one of those ancient, you know, what are those?
Sedan chairs.
Yeah, sedan chairs.
Or could it be a modern one that you control yourself with a little joystick here?
This has turned into absolute bollocks. Let's move on to the next story. And final story, thank God, please. Okay, c4e has very quickly buzzed in reference to a turkey. This is a picture of an American family, which is totally wrong, but what's the story?
It's a family reunion, but almost
Yes.
Carry on, sorry.
but almost every kid is playing games or whatever
Stuart,
on
pay
iPhones
attention.
or iPads.
Sorry? Oh,
Okay.
yeah, got it. Don't know. What did she say?
I don't know. I was thinking something else.
Absolutely.
Right.
Again.
Okay,
This is a popular news story that's gone viral in China of a grandfather who had a dinner with his family, and everyone was on their phones and iPads, and he said, "Are you getting married?" And they didn't answer, so he went berserk.
and he smashed a plate,
Smashed
didn't
the
he?
plate, and the story went
I've got to
viral.
say, in China, this is what we call hard news. Dominic, are you going to make a video about it?
Excuse me, sorry.
We could reenact.
No. No, I know it's not funny. Just pretend to laugh.
It's been done twice already.
It's a fan of the show.
Okay, there we go. Fan of the show. Now that is a joke. Okay, I've got to say though, this man, he smashed a plate. If you were being ignored, Dominic, what would you do to get attention? Cock out? And pull out a chicken?
Maybe I'd raise my voice, Rob.
Okay, that's infinitely better. What about you, Stuart?
I'd just do what this old man did, because he's gone viral, so I'd obviously smash a plate. And then send the story to the newspaper, and they print it, and
I
then
wonder
someone
how
put it
this
online.
actually got in the news. Did one of the children or the grandfather actually phone up the local paper and say, "Excuse me, my granddaddy smashed a plate," and they thought, "It's a slow news day, nothing's happened. Let's print that." So what? Is this news?
Well, it is not news in itself.
In Easy
but
FM, it's news.
well, it is news. Actually, we talked about it on
Oh,
ChinaTV.
the embarrassment of it! Oh dear.
And we are
China
going
Now.
to talk about it in today's China Now
See,
show.
it made 2 news headlines.
Oh, well done, CRI.
Well, obviously, you know, smashing a grandfather smashing a plate is not a
I thought
news
smashing
story.
a grandfather. What?
That might be a news story, but smashing a plate's not a news story. But it sort of illustrates what many people are worrying about. I mean, you get on the subway, and I was looking around the other day. Almost everybody had earphones in, you know, playing on their.
No, Dominic, I'd like to stop you there. On line 1, which is the line with no class, people don't use earphones. They just play their games at top volume. And you can hear everything. And you're like, "You selfish bastard."
It raises a valid point.
Yeah,
but
this
it's
is not a
it's
harmonious society.
No, it raises a valid point that technology is pervasive.
Another valid point. Okay.
But it's not really news.
Okay. Well,
But I think that
nor was anything on the show.
the point of this story is not only about dependence on cell phones or social media. It's rather young children or young people nowadays having no manners
Yeah,
at all.
disrespect their
Right,
elders.
yes.
Would you ever disrespect the older generation by playing on your iPad while they're telling you about something?
No, certainly not. I mean, when we were together hanging out, well, maybe when my parents are watching TV, maybe I will be watching reading my iPad.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, but when they're talking to me when we're having dinner, certainly not.
What a polite young lady.
Can I say, in my day, when I was a young lad growing up in the family, obviously it was a few years before the iPhone, we had a strict rule: no books at the table. You weren't allowed to take any books at all. But so obviously iPhones would be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. How was
loophole.
it growing up in Victorian Manchester? Okay.
Everyone had big moustaches. Strange.
Oh, we've got Jack the Ripper on the show. c4e, how do you feel about disrespecting old people by playing on your iPad or pod while they're talking?
I feel really sorry about that.
Okay. Do you do a good job of listening to old people?
I think I did a very good job on that because I didn't even use internet when I'm in vacation at home.
Wow.
Yes,
That's
because I just wanted to spend more time with my parents because in most cases I'm away from them.
Okay. Well, that is a beautiful story of filial piety.
And I would just like to say that I hope this plate was not smashed on October the 16th. Look at the picture.
Yeah.
It would be a waste of food, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's all going to. We're all going.
Factually correct.
We're all going to end up like Tron anyway. So there's no point in trying to fight technology.
What, looking like Jeff Bridges 30 years
and
ago?
riding on bikes, going. I'll be Red Man. You can be Blue Man, and you can be
Tron.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
What?
Sorry.
I know what he's talking about. I watch films. It's my job. Chi, I had a question for you, and I've actually forgotten what it is because so much bollocks was going on around me. Oh yeah. If you were ignored, how ironic. If you were ignored, how would you get people's attention? Burping?
Maybe shout.
Okay.
I don't know.
Can you give us an example? Like, everybody talk amongst yourselves. Stuart, talk to someone over there that doesn't exist. Chi, I want you to get our attention.
In this case,
Oh, yeah,
I think we're
Hey,
supposed
hey,
to
hey,
say
hey,
rhubarb,
hey.
rhubarb,
Can
rhubarb.
you
Pay
shut up?
attention.
Can you shut up? I'm talking to this person here. Hey.
Okay.
When people off stage want to pretend they're talking,
Come on,
but everybody says.
What are you doing?
Okay.
Talk to Rob.
Okay, let's stop
Okay,
now because it's
that
gone on
doesn't
long
work.
enough. What? Okay,
doesn't
well, you
work.
tried your best. Let's finally find out from Xiaohua here. Okay. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's all I wanted to know. Dominic, what about you?
I've rocketed up to 6, Rob.
Wow, from 5.5 to 6. What number are you at, Chi?
Maybe 7.
7. You're 1 point happier than Dominic. And finally, Spoon, are you still hanging around 3?
I'm still hanging around 2.
Okay, well, when you go back to the office, it'll be back down to
Back
1.
down to 0.
Okay, well, don't forget we've got a prize this week. CRI English's entire marketing budget has been spent on this little cube that says Beyond Beijing on it. What's Beyond Beijing?
The rest of China.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a laugh a minute on this show, isn't it? Or 1 every 15 minutes. But this is the prize this week. It cost 100,000 yuan, and I'd like to give this to Dominic Swire. There you go. Well done. Anyway, let's wrap it up and say if you want to watch the show on Weibo, it's down below. And if you want to email in and say congratulations to Dominic or well done to Chi, I'm listening to you, whatever, it's also down
Thank
below.
you.
Yep, that's okay. Dominic, can I see that cube for a second?
No, it's mine.
I just want to look at it. He's become a knob. Okay. Anyway. See? Masculine. There you go. Good. Anyway,
Thank
that's just about it for
you.
now, and I'll see you next week for more C4. Bye for now.
Bye.